one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
Me and my homies was outside hooping one time. And it was like a pause in the action. And when it was a pause in the action, one of my homies, we started talking about, specifically one of my homeboys had brought up the not NBA, he brought up Chris Webber and like some of the announcers. And that just had us start talking about announcers that, you know, say a bunch of stupid shit or ain't as great as, you know, some people might think. And one of my homeboys was like, man, really, they just be talking my head off. And then my other homeboy, he stood there for a little second, and I looked at him because I knew he was finna say something wild. And he was just looking at my other homeboy, and everybody was still talking except for me and him, and I'm just looking at this motherfucker. And he not looking at me. So I'm staring at him, looking, waiting for him to say his response. And this motherfucker, everybody stopped talking, and he say, well, I mean, their job is to talk. And I thought to myself, you know, he being an asshole right now, because that's the type of dude he is. He is an asshole. So he definitely being an asshole right now. But you know what? He right. So in the spirit of that, I'm about to talk y'all heads off. Welcome to Kicking It with Saint. This is not Kicking It with Saint. This is Wrasslin with Saint, actually. What it do? I picked up my cousin from school today, and she was when I picked when I picked her up, she opened the door and she was like, "Oh my God, it don't stink in here." And I was like, "What the hell? Of course it don't stink in here. What you talking about? It don't stink in here." She said, "Usually the person who picked me up, his car smell like shit, and he be smelling like shit." So she was like, "I'm just happy to get into a car that don't stink." It's a wild life out there. Take a bath. Use soap. I promise you, it won't kill you. But listen, we on the road to WrestleMania, and my man Roman Reigns just went off on one. Yo, he got to be the best promo in the WWE right now, in all of wrestling. Got to be the best promo. The facial reactions, the mannerisms, everything. Roman just gets it, bro. He gets it. But we're not going to start off well, we already did start off talking about Roman, but we're not going to start off with the contract signing. Smackdown started off with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, Sonya, Adam Pearce. Good to see that Naomi is out of this whole debacle of a feud. Happy to see that she out of that. And she done moved on to something else, which we'll talk about later on in the show. But I'm not really mad that Sonya inserting herself in this feud. I really don't understand Sonya's obsession with Charlotte. I don't think they done ever explained to us why Sonya helped Charlotte. Like, why does she help Charlotte when she helps Charlotte? Like, has that ever been explained? Maybe I missed that episode when they explained why she, you know, do a lot of helping Charlotte and shit. I must have missed that episode. I don't think, but if I didn't miss that episode, I don't think they done explained why does Sonya help Charlotte. Now, that is neither here nor there, because that's not really, I understand Sonya's, now granted, I did think it's kind of crazy that they dropped the Sonya Naomi feud, and they probably didn't really drop it as much as it was just, I guess it's just the ending to it, like the Elimination Chamber match was the end of it. And if that was the end of it, cool, fine. I'm not even mad at it. We got a great Charlotte Naomi match out of it, so I'm not even tripping on it. But they can pick up Naomi Charlotte feud later. I'm just happy that the Sonya Naomi feud is over. But yeah, in the beginning, I was talking a couple weeks ago or last week, whatever time I was talking about it. I was talking about how I was hoping that Ronda don't get booked like the way they booked Ronda the first run was pretty dope. Now, you could say some of the, you know, women wrestlers weren't in the position they in now when Ronda had her first run. But nevertheless, her first run was dope. I liked how they booked her. I liked what happened tonight because it's interesting. because like they attacked her leg, Ronda's leg, basically. Like Sonya chop blocked her when she wasn't looking, and then Charlotte dragged her out and then slammed her leg on the pole or whatever. And so it's gonna be interesting to see like what, like, because I know Sonya gonna get her ass beat next week. Like I know it's Sonya v Ronda next week, and I know Ronda gonna beat the shit out of Sonya. Like I know that's gonna happen. That's the consequences of we was talking about consequences to your actions on my previous episode. I haven't even uploaded yet, but it's gonna get uploaded. But yeah, I'm expecting Ronda to beat the shit out of Sonya next week. But that match is gonna tell me a lot, because I'm interested to see if Ronda can put on a good wrestling match again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this punching, this jiu-jitsu that she doing in some of these matches is kind of whack. Like, speaking of Ronda, because the next match was I cannot believe I forgot how to pronounce her name, bruh. Xia Li, I think it was. Man, I really forgot how to pronounce her name, yo. She got like a fire ass Mortal Kombat like entrance, and she got like a Mortal Kombat like outfit. I think it'd be more fire if it was like black, but I understand she not a heel, so you don't want to put her in black. This was funny. I'm gonna get back to the Ronda Rousey thing, but just skip into Natalya real fast, because Natalya the one who fought Lee in her debut match on Smackdown. This is what I want to say. Natalya is fucking hilarious to me. I don't know if I'd never said this on the show before, but it's just some wrestlers who know their character, get their character, and they just do the shit. Like they work the fuck out of their character. Like I'm almost certain that Natalya will have another great run before it's all said and done, just because she's so into her character. Like I don't see Natalya, or I never hear about Natalya walking around complaining, talking about, oh, they don't treat me right, oh, I'm not getting booked right, oh, I'm not getting the proper booking and shit. Like Natalya just do the absolute most with her character. It don't matter how goofy the storyline is, how bad the storyline is, or how bad like they ask her to do so, how bad the idea is. I swear to you, Nate, Natalya just go out there and execute. Natalya is the perfect example of a pro's pro. I'm telling you, like Natalya, Naomi too, but Natalya understand, like, putting people over. Like, bro, her feud that she had going with Aaliyah, hilarious. For one, I love that Natalya is comedic relief and she understand her character. So, like, you got some people who not really understanding their character, or they don't really but they don't buy all the way into their character. So when a wrestler don't buy into their character, it's hard for the audience to buy into the character. Natalya is 1,000%. Like, Natalya just come up have crazy storylines and different type of crazy quirks to her character, it seemed like, every year, and it just I don't think people give Natalya enough credit for just how great she is at her job. Like, you don't have to be a champion in order to be great at your job. Like, Natalya, in my mind, is a champion of pros. Like, because she just go out there, she put on a show for the fans, she try to make you laugh, make you smile, whatever. She make you feel something. She try to get you to interact with her. Like, Natalya is dope. I don't think Natalya get enough credit. And I feel like every time I do one of these Wrestling with Saints, I always shout out somebody specifically who I feel like don't get enough credit. Natalya is the one for this episode. And I know some people might be listening like, man, it's always the women wrestlers who you shout out. Well, I guess that just is what it is. Because it's not even something like I'm going into the show saying to myself, like, who the, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is mistreated? Who is underrated? Nah, it just like, I was watching Natalya, and in my mind, I was like, yo, Natalya is fucking dope. Like, dead ass. Natalya does not get enough credit for how dope she is. And for Lee, it was a decent first match. I think Natalya did a great job carrying the match for her. But Lee's finisher is dope. I was about to call it a butterfly kick, but it's not a butterfly kick. What Kofi do is a butterfly kick. The Trouble in Paradise is a butterfly kick. What Lee do is like a heel kick, a spinning heel kick, a jumping spinning heel kick is what that is. That's fire though. That shit knocked Natalya ass out. Natalya just so dope, man. So dope. But that was a good match. But back to Ronda. I wanted to see if Ronda, like, I don't want to see, because Lee kind of fought in her match, kind of how I'm expecting Ronda. Except for Lee did do like one slam. But most of this fight was like striking and shit. And that's what I'm seeing for Ronda. And it's weird because Ronda wasn't a striker in the UFC. So I don't really see why they booking her as a striker here. Like, she was closer to a wrestler than she was a striker. So I'm not understanding why we keep booking Ronda to be like this striker. Because she don't throw punches like a wrestler. Like, she don't throw wrestler punches. But she don't throw boxer punches either. So, and I done seen strikers. Like, I'm considered a striker. When I was doing mixed martial arts, I would be considered a striker and a wrestler because I can wrestle. But Ronda strikes, like, I done fought strikers and I done, trained with a lot of strikers. Her punches don't even look good as strikers. Like, because the levels to it is, I mean, she basically punched like a wrestler now that I'm thinking about it. Not like a wrestler, a professional wrestler. Like, she kind of punched like a rookie wrestler or a rookie. I mean, I done seen rookie boxers is no comp. I don't know. I just don't like her, the striking that she doing right now. That's all it is. But I'm not hating on Ronda. I like Ronda. I'm hoping that she have a dope run. I'm just really interested to see how one of these matches go. Because her first single, because I got a lot of high expectations for WrestleMania. And I'm expecting her to win. Even though it would be fucking hilarious if they throw a wrench in that and she actually lost. If Ronda lost at Mania, that would make me more invested in her character, I think. Because Ronda coming back and not winning the title immediately, how fucking crazy would that be? But I'm almost certain she gonna. And you know what's weird to me? Because I think people know that Ronda don't like Becky Lynch in real life. What's interesting is, why wouldn't Ronda just go take Becky's title since she don't like her? I think, now, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion, based off of things that I done heard, which could be false. And if they false, then none of this shit that I'm saying matters anyways. So, but maybe it's that because if she didn't just go take Becky, because I'm pretty sure she could have said, I want Becky's title. If she mature enough to the point where she like, fuck a Becky Lynch, Charlotte is where the money at. Like, I'd rather have a great WrestleMania match with Charlotte than go be spiteful and take it. Then that's pretty interesting to me. And if none of that is true, like I said, then ignore all of it. But I was looking at who had the most fire fits tonight too. I just want y'all to know that. I was checking fits out tonight. Fits was getting checked out. Like, I'm not going to really do a segment on it this week because it's not a pay-per-view. But I feel like I should, since the next pay-per-view is, WrestleMania. So we ain't going to be talking about fits. But I kind of don't want to because fucking Sasha wore her little Sailor Moon outfit that she wore a couple pay-per-views ago. And I'm like, whoa. Like, that's fire, yes. But it can't make the list again after it had made the list a couple weeks ago. Like, can't do it. Not fair. You dig what I'm saying? But then I'm looking at Sami Zayn's coat and I'm like, yo. I even told my cousin, like, that shit's fire. Like, the only thing that bothered me about Sami's coat, and truly, I'm not doing a list. I'm just just talking about some of the fits I was seeing tonight. The thing that probably bothered me the most about Sami's coat is the fact, not even his coat, his fit. Bro, why did you have on a white shirt under it, bro? Like, even though it was a white dress shirt, button down. Why? You should have had on a black button down or a gold button down. Like, I don't understand why you had on a white. What is this obsession with motherfuckers throwing white on under shit? And it's not that serious. Trust me, it's not that serious. But I'm just saying, to complete the fit, it's hard to make the fit list, bro, basically. Who had the most fire fits? I'm just being honest with you. New Day had a fire-ass fit. New Day, when they got matching fits on, they used to have the most fire fits. They ain't really, like, they've been wrestling together lately, but they don't wrestle together as much over the past 2 years. Like, Kofi and Zay and Woods do, but where the fuck is Woods? Is Woods hurt? Like, where the fuck is Woods at? I feel like Woods just get ghost every now and then. And this might be his longest absence. Is Woods hurt? If Xavier Woods is hurt, bro, I didn't even know that. Had no clue. But I'm really interested to see what Ronda and Sonya's match look like next week, because that's going to give me kind of some insight into how her and Charlotte's match is going to go at Mania. And I understand Sonya is not Charlotte, but I'm not really paying attention to Sonya as much as I am to Ronda and how she fight this match. I'm just interested. And this match next week could have no bearing on how, like, she could look like shit next week, which I don't expect, but come out in Mania and look like an absolute legend. So I'm just intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how this shit all works. But since I was talking about Sammy and his fit, Sammy won the United States Championship. I mean, the Intercontinental Championship. I wish they redesigned the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship, to me, looked like an NXT Championship. There's no creativity in that belt, in my opinion. Like, I do not like the Intercontinental Championship. I really wish they would redesign that belt. I really wish they would get rid of the Intercontinental Championship and just come up with a different championship. Like, I really wish every championship on the show felt like a big dog title or looked like a big dog title. Like, because the Intercontinental Championship to me is hideous. Like, hideous. That might be the worst looking championship in wrestling in the WWE. But I'm thinking about these tag championships, the red ones and the blue ones. Them shits is hideous to me also. Would I play WWE 2K? And I'm doing the fucking what they call that shit, where you basically it's not my GM, bro. What is that shit called? And it's not my career. I think my universe. When I'm doing my own universe, I take all those titles away and I create brand new titles. And every single title is modeled off of the main titles. So all of them look like big dog championships. I even rename most of them to like the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. And like, I don't like some of these goofy names. Like, I want every title to look and feel important. Now, one part of looking important is who is holding the title. I mean, feeling important is who holding them. Like, is the title holders making these titles feel relevant, and are they making them feel important? And that's the most important part. But another part that can make the titles instantly feel more significant and people take it serious is if you redesign the shits. Like, for one, I'm at the point where I almost don't feel like none of the titles need to have color to them, for the simple reason the 24/7 championship got color to it. It's a green title, so I don't feel like none of the other titles should have color to them off of that alone. Now, I would not mind if the two titles for Raw, the main title for Raw and the main title for Smackdown, had colors, but then again, like if it was red, blue, but then again, nah. If they was all black, I would be... To be completely honest with you, I would love to see them bring in a white and gold championship for both head titles. Like a white and gold type looking title with red accents on it and blue accents on it. To me, that'd be fucking fire. Kind of like Charlotte and Charlotte's title is white and red, I think, and Becky's is like blue and white. Like, I think the two women's championships are fire. Like, both of those titles look fire. And I think the Universal Championship and the Heavyweight Championship look fire too. But the Tag Team Championships, those got to go. They got to redesign those shits. For one, the strap's too big. Why is those plate circles? And why is like the big plate in the middle a fucking circle? Why do the Intercontinental Championship look like that? I can't even remember what the USA Championship look like right now. So I think WWE need to redesign some of these fucking belts. One of the best things that happened to the championship is when The Rock came back and threw that spinning belt in the trash can and brought back a professional looking title. Because remember, I remember when John Cena first brought out that fucking spinning championship, and everybody thought that shit was cool. And for the longest time, it was cool. A spinning championship. But when The Rock brought out that professional looking title, and then they even evolved it after that, that made me realize how fucking ugly the John Cena championship was. Like, when I play WWE Universe, it's certain titles I would never put into like my story modes. The hardcore championship, that shit Mick Foley walked around with, that shit is an abomination of a title. Would never put that bullshit in my story modes. The John Cena spinning title, would never put that bullshit in my story modes unless I'm creating like a John Cena story mode. But the reason I still would never do it is because they would take the stats for that title and change it up for the, like, I don't know why they do that, but that title would never make it into my thing unless it was a John Cena specific title changing type of story mode. Other than that, that shit would never see the, because as soon as that motherfucker lose that title, it's going right back to the original looking title. Like, that title is hideous, but it ain't. The ugliest title in WWE history is that hardcore championship. That shit looks like a dumpster fire. But to me, the second, I mean, a lot of these championship tag team belts is hideous too. To me, the two that we got right now is very hideous. That purple championship they had was hideous. I think the 24 championship is hideous. I think the current Intercontinental Championship is hideous. I can't remember what the USA Championship looked like, so I can't even speak on that one right now. The ugliest title in my mind, aside from the Hardcore Championship, because I think that was supposed to intentionally be the ugliest title, the ugliest title in my mind right now is that John Cena spinning belt. For the simple reason, the designs after it are so far and away to me better that it just makes John Cena's spinning belt look just absolutely garbage. And you gotta understand, that was the belt that I saw for the majority of my childhood, and it didn't help that the heavyweight championship, even though I liked the heavyweight, I liked it. I liked the heavyweight championship design, but I mean, when I look at these new designs for these titles, like these latest designs, they just look so much better than the shit that I grew up with as the championships. Also, when are we going to redesign? When is WWE going to redesign these championships again? Like, I'm talking about the ugly ones, but when is all of the championships going to get a little touch and re-up? You know what I'm saying? I was just talking about, well, who was I talking about the other day acting like they care about shit? I think it was MLB. Either way, WWE got to do something with that hideous Intercontinental Championship. But speaking of the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn, I saw the replays of him winning that shit against Shinsuke Nakamura. Good lord, that shit looked brutal. I like that shit. It looked like he fucked boy's leg all the way up. I dig that shit. So who knows what's gonna happen with Shinsuke? They showed a commercial of him and Rick Boogs in a truck commercial, so who knows what's going on with them. But Johnny Knoxville basically came out, and I'm not sure if this is setting up Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn for WrestleMania, because for one, I wouldn't see the purpose of Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn for WrestleMania, because why would the title go to Johnny Knox? Why would they give Sami a match like that at Mania for a title change? Like, is Johnny Knoxville staying after Mania? Like, I wouldn't understand that one. So I'm not sure if that's what they setting up, for the simple reason Sami could lose his championship next week. Like, Johnny Knoxville could cost him his title next week. Then I would understand if it was like Ricochet, because Ricochet who he fight next week. So if it's Ricochet taking him on at Mania, then I would understand that. But if it's just him v Knoxville for the title, I don't understand that shit at all. Now who else? I don't know why I said who else, but Johnny Knoxville had came out during this segment with Sami. Now, fast forward and all the shit that they was talking with each other and shit like that. Sami came back in the ring and attacked Johnny Knoxville, right? But when Sami hit the first Hallula kick, it was so clear that he missed this motherfucker. Like, credit to Johnny Knoxville for, like, not even falling all the way and trying to act like he was hit. Like, that, they saved the segment because Sammy ended up hitting him with it again, and he hit him flush with it the second time. But I think Sammy was trying to be so safe the first time that he just completely missed him. And John, like, you could tell that the crowd could tell that he completely missed him. I don't know what they were saying in the arena. They could probably see on the big screen that he missed him. But if you saw it at home, you clearly saw that he missed. Like, they probably was talking about it on Twitter. I didn't check. But clearly Sammy had missed him. That shit happens sometimes when you're dealing with celebrities because you don't want to hit non-wrestlers. You don't want to hit non-wrestlers and actually fuck them up, even though that's the risk they pay when they step into the ring. Like, they got to understand this, but you do want to be safe for them so they, you know, you don't want to fuck their experience up by breaking the motherfucker's nose, even if it is Johnny Knoxville. But he hit him with it. But like I said, shout out to Johnny Knoxville because he could have failed and acted like he got drilled with it and so tried to sell it and whatnot. Instead, he didn't even really fall. He kind of just glimped down a little bit. He kind of, you know, wiped the side of his cheek as if like, oh, you grazed me with it. You didn't really like. Shout out to him for knowing how to, you know, sell it after Sammy missed him with it. And then Sammy came back and hit him flush with it. And then Johnny Knoxville was knocked out for real. So shout out to Johnny Knoxville, who is not even a wrestler, who knew how to take a botch and flip it. Like, everybody gonna talk about, oh, botch, 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 botch. Well, talk about how the fact that he saved the botch and flipped it, because Sammy ended up hitting him with it the second time and hit him flush with it. And if you really paid attention, Johnny Knoxville acted as if he didn't get hit with it all the way. He acted like it just grazed him a little bit. That's why he didn't fall. That's why when he got hit with it flush, he fell. That's top notch right there. That's top notch. You gotta love that. That was my favorite play of the night. That was the play of the game to me. That was big body shit right there. Big body shit right there. I love that. Shout out to Johnny Knoxville. That was absolutely amazing. Some people are going to complain and bitch about the botch, but the fact that he knew how to regain his composure and get back into it and, you know, re-up, absolutely brilliant. You see wrestlers who don't know how to respond to botches. Like, dead ass, you see wrestlers who've been doing this shit for decades not know how to respond to botches. Johnny Knoxville took that shit like took that botch like a champ and was like, let's fix this shit. You gotta love that shit. That's a round of applause. I'm here for the blah, blah, blah. I'm here for the blah, blah, from the blah. That's applause for Johnny Knoxville, bro. That shit was fire. I'm telling you, that shit was thunder right there. You gotta give a round of applause to him for that. That shit was fire. But the New Day fought Los. I can't remember their name, but it's Carrillo and my man who be ripping his pants off, which is hilarious when he do that shit. And it's funny that I never realized he still have his pants on until he ripped them bitches off. So shout out to him for that. But Big E knew they came to the ring on a little four-wheeler that a nice little four-wheeler, tricked out nice little red and blue four-wheeler that Kofi bought for Big E for his birthday. Happy belated birthday, Big E. Big dog. But New Day ended up getting the win with the Midnight Hour, which is just a fired name for a finisher. The New Day do a lot of dope ass finishers where Kofi come off the top rope or Woods come off the top rope and Big E usually carrying the dude or holding him. Like, they got a lot of fire ass men. New Day, the greatest tag team I ever seen in my life. Then it's Usos or Bloodline, and then it's D-Generation X. These other two just got longevity, bro. Longevity, and they done had some of the best matches like I done never seen. Like the greatest matches I'm remembering from D-Generation X was against, and you gonna think this is crazy, but was against Cody Rhodes and what was they called? Legacy, when they was with Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase, or was it his son? I know it was DiBiase. Maybe his name was Ted DiBiase Jr. But him and Cody Rhodes, the Legacy, taking on DX, they used to have some fire-ass matches. But New Day and the fucking Usos, these two fucking teams done had some of the greatest tag team matches I have ever seen in my lifetime. So, to me, those are two teams that's the two greatest all time. Easily, for me. Easily. I know some Team 3D fans gonna be mad about that. Don't let Bubba Ray hear that comment just now. I don't know why I said it like, but Ray. Don't let Bubba Ray hear that comment, or Bully Ray, whichever he go by now. He ain't gonna like that because I got New Day, Usos, then I got DX, then I got Shield, then I got, and I watched 3D. I just think these other teams was better. And that's no disrespect to 3D, all the championships they done won around the world. Oh, my brother. Testify. I'm with it. I'm with the shits. I just don't think they was better than these other teams, and that's no shot at them, man. Hey, something that was weird was when Natalya and Lee was fighting, fucking Aaliyah, Shayna Baszler, Drew Gulak, and somebody else was watching this fight in the back. It was weird at the angle of which Drew Gulak was trying to watch his TV. But also, I didn't even know Drew Gulak still worked for the fucking company. That was a shock to me. I did not know Drew Gulak still was in the WWE, yo. I saw that motherfucker and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Drew Gulak still working the WWE, yo? Look at that. Yo, Sasha Banks, because I was talking about how Sasha Banks wore the same Sailor Moon fit out here tonight. And she did. She was fighting Shotzi. Shotzi started off in the match already, like in the ring. So I should have already knew what this was going to be. But then Naomi walked out, and I was like, yo, what is this going to be? And Naomi had a fire-ass fit on. Naomi probably had the best fit on of the night, to be honest with you. But we ain't doing fits of the night, so I'm sorry, Naomi. But her fit was fire. Had Pat dancing at the announce table. But I didn't know what that was about until after the match. But Shotzi got absolutely beat quick. I didn't know if I wanted to say buried or I don't know what I wanted to say. But this was not a fight. This was very quick and easy for Sasha Banks. And it's no, I can't be mad at that because Sasha Banks is Sasha Banks. But it was quick and easy. And this match was solely here for Sasha to make her return in a strong way and to announce that her and Naomi, or Naomi and Sasha, because Naomi announced it, are going to be fighting again. I think this means that they competing against the tag team championships, the women's tag team. Who is the women's tag team? I know who it is. I'm trying to think of the Carmella and Queen Zelina. I think they're gonna defend their championships at Mania against Sasha and Naomi. I think. And if that's the case, then thank fucking God. Because if you put the titles on Naomi and Sasha, because those tag team championships haven't been relevant. The women tag team championships haven't been relevant since Bayley and Sasha had them. You put those bitches on Sasha and Naomi. Oh yeah. The price just went up. Yes sir. I like that. I think you can do some shit with that. So I like that. So that's basically what this match was here with her and Shotzi. Like, I feel bad because I think Shotzi is like actually a talented wrestler and whatnot. But hey, sometimes you got to go through this type of shit, man. Sometimes you got to go through this type of shit when you starting out on the main roster. It just is what it is. It's no hate. It's no, Shotzi shouldn't feel no type of way. Bianca legit lost at SummerSlam in a couple seconds to Becky. Come on now. So I'm happy to hear that. Like I said, this shit. Like I can understand some people arguing that this didn't have to happen. Like you didn't need this announcement. You didn't have to have this match just to announce that Sasha and Naomi were gonna compete for the tag team championships. But I mean, shit, the match didn't hurt to me. So like, I understand some people saying like, oh, you didn't have to do Shotzi like that. But in the same breath, I mean, it really didn't hurt her if she can, I don't think this really hurt her. I don't think it hurt her. I didn't seen too many, wrestlers bounce back from shit like this. Like I said, Bianca lost her title in a matter of seconds after a dominant run. So, it is what it is. Hey. It is what it is. Bro, I didn't watch no sports today. I haven't watched no sports shows, let me put it like that. I didn't watch nothing on ESPN today. I didn't watch no First Take. I know it's no Undisputed. I didn't watch no Pat McAfee show today. I ain't watched nothing today. I've been working from sun up to sun down. I legit got home 10 minutes after Smackdown started. It's been a day. And after I got off of work, I had to take people home. But I can't have people work with me all day and then had to make them motherfuckers catch the bus to get home. Like, imagine that. As tired as I am, them motherfuckers just as tired as me. And I can just drive home and I'm finna make them motherfuckers sit on the bus and have to stop, possibly have to catch another bus before they have to get to their house and walk up the street or so to get to the crib. Nah, let me just go ahead and drop you off. I got you. And I was one of the dudes who was with me, he was just gonna catch the bus. And I have done a job with somebody one time where me and him had like a 6 or 7 hour job, and it was a tough one. And after the job, he had disappeared like I ain't seen him behind me. And as I was pulling out of the neighborhood and whatnot, I saw him standing at the bus stop, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, man, I'm about to catch the bus. I gotta go. I was like, motherfucker, I can just take you to your crib, bro. He was like, oh, I ain't want to ask you. I was like, motherfucker, you just bust your ass. We was just having conversations and shit while we was moving these people out of their house, bro. Now you don't want to talk to me? Now you scared to ask for a ride? See, this motherfucker completely different than one of my homeboys, because I got a homeboy who he don't care if he piss you off. He don't care if y'all just did a job and he absolutely did nothing the whole job. That motherfucker gonna ask you for a ride. And his motto is, if I don't ask, then how I'm gonna know what you gonna say? You can only say 2 things, yes or no. He love that line. You can only say 2 things, yes or no. But you know you gonna say yes though. But it's been a long day. No longer than anybody else's day though. I ain't bitching about it. It was money to be made, so we had to go make it. You did? It is what it is, but I hope I'm not. Oh, and like I said, Ricochet ran into Sami Zayn in the back after all the Sami Zayn stuff and Knoxville stuff. And Ricochet will face him next week for the championship. So I'm interested to see how that go. Like, I don't anticipate they'll take the title off of Sami Zayn. But it would make an interesting story if they did and Johnny Knoxville cost him. Because you can drag that into Mania, where either he get his belt back or he don't. I mean, I just don't see Knoxville, Sami Zayn for the title unless Knoxville win it before Mania and like he win it off of like Ricochet costing him or something. I don't know. I'm interested to see where this story go, because Sami Zayn can kill anything. He like Natalya, but this wasn't his night for me to praise him. This was Natalya's night, so he just gonna have to eat that. Like, dead ass. This was Natalya's night. She got the praise for being the ultimate professional, for being a pro's pro, for being a wrestler's wrestler, for understanding the business, as they say, for just going out there and being a dope ass human being. You know what I'm saying? Watching Natalya makes my day that much doper, bro. That's why I appreciate Natalya, man. Look at me. Going off on another dope ass what do you call it when it's good? When it's bad, it's called a rant. When it's good, what is called a sermon? A sermon? A sermon. A sermon. Sermon. A sermon. That's what it's called, a sermon. I don't know what it's called when it's good, but I fuck with Natalya heavy. That segment when they was standing in the back watching TV was still weird. But anyways, we get into the wait. I was about to skip Madcap Moss and them boys. I like Madcap. Madcap is huge, yo. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Maybe it's just me, but this motherfucker is huge, bro. What is this dude bench pressing, yo? This dude is huge. But they showed a replay of his the reverse Alabama slam where he got slammed on his head. Yo, I'm telling you, yo, that shit hurt watching it, yo. Every time they showed it, I'm thinking about it right now and I'm rolling my neck, yo. Like, that shit was so painful to watch. Dead ass Madcap. You show motherfuckers who say wrestling is fake. Go show them that. Go show them that. Because you already know they bozos by the fact they don't know the difference between fake and scripted. But just go show them that. Like, ignore all the different injuries you could show them and all that type of shit. Go show them Madcap getting dropped on his head and ask them, like, tell them to explain to you how that right there was fake. Okay? I still don't know how Madcap finished that match. Like, this dude's head is made out of fucking vibranium. The fact that he finished that match and could still wrestle again tonight. Yo, Happy Corbin, kind of a hoe. Kind of a hoe for throwing his boy in that fire like that. That was some hoe shit. I wasn't really rocking with that. I ain't like that. And then Madcap, bro, what are we doing, my boy? What are we doing? What are we doing? You can't be accepting that fight, bruh. You can't accept that fight, bruh. My boy, you just got dropped on your neck Sunday or Saturday. Why would you take this match, bro? You got to make Baron Corbin. And then Baron Corbin talking about this a WrestleMania type of match. Well, that depends, bruh. That depends, bruh. I saw a Depends commercial the other day. Adult diapers. I'm not laughing because adult diapers. I get it. It just caught me off guard when I saw a Depends commercial. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I think it was like during the All-Star game, as a matter of fact. Yo, it just threw me off, bro. That's all I'm saying. But Drew McIntyre, bro. Back on topic. Drew McIntyre ended up beating Madcap Moss in this match. But Madcap and he was giving Corbin the eyes and shit like that. Like, he wasn't laughing and shit when they was doing the interview and shit like that. And I just want to say, Lee did an interview, and then her music hit. And like, it was crazy how fast she got, put her hat on, and it was crazy. But anyways, Madcap, if I'm Madcap, bro, I'm kicking Happy Corbin clean in the dick. No cap, bro. I'm kicking him clean in the dick, and I'm getting them pin numbers. Dead ass. This only ended one way, with Madcap kicking Corbin's ass, bro. Cause Madcap, you just got put on your fucking head. And Drew in this fucking sword, bro. Or sword, whatever y'all want to call it. I don't understand. I can't even remember what the name of it was. I think it was like Ashley or Ashanti. It was something. It definitely wasn't Ashanti. The name, it was some name of the sword. Angela. I don't remember what the name of the sword was, but I just still think it's goofy, bro. I think it's goofy. And as long as he walking around carrying that shit, I'm gonna think he goofy. Dead ass. Like, people can say that, oh, Drew McIntyre look like his character getting killed by feuding with Baron Corbin and Madcap. No, it's not. I don't mind this feud, even though I don't understand where either of these two go after the feud. What's killing his character for me is this goofy ass sword he keep carrying around. Like, bro, it's just no. Do you understand that if he accidentally hit somebody with this shit, and if it's a real sword, he could kill him? With understanding that knowledge, You know he's never going to hit anybody with this sword. So why is this a prop? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not mad when wrestling is goofy. The sledgehammer, Triple H put his hand in front of it every time. We know like when he swing it over his head, like he did to Batista at that one WrestleMania, we know he's never gonna hit anybody with that shot. Okay, like that's too dangerous of a dog. You crushing somebody's head clean open like a melon. But the way he hit people with it, we understand that. There is no way Drew could hit anybody with the sword that would make any type of sense. Why would he stick his hand in front of the sword and hit somebody with it so he can stab himself? Like, there is no purpose and no point in which this sword is not goofy. This is what I'm saying when I say this is beyond wrestling. This is beyond goofy. This is entering cartoonish territories. So I don't understand why he keep walking around with this goofy ass sword, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just think it's goofy. Like, you could legitimately give this man something like Finley used to have, like the shillelagh. I think even Sheamus and them carry that shit now. But a sword, bro? Like, what? Drew McIntyre is becoming a cartoon to me. All because of the fucking sword, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Dead ass. Because I know in no reality, not in this one at least, can he actually make contact with somebody with that sword. It's just not going to happen. And I don't understand how Vince, a billionaire, a genius, and all these different creatives still got him walking out with that shit. And actually using it in matches as if he's going to use it. When every fucking body knows. Like, what do you think his record is when trying to use that shit is now? What? 0 for 100 now? 0 for 150? Like, come on. This is just cartoonish at this point. Even if it's like 0 for 5. The fact that it's 0 for that little should tell you all you need to know. Usually when you barely use something, you have a higher connectivity with it, a higher percentage of connecting with it. This motherfucker literally never. It's like when Daniel Bryan do the little yes kicks. We know he never gonna hit anybody with that first one after he do the We know he never gonna hit anybody with that first one because they're gonna duck it every time. That's the sword. He's never gonna hit anybody with the shit. It's like every time Triple H swung the sledgehammer over his head in a downward motion, we always knew either he was finna hit the shit out the steps or hit the shit out of the air. But it wasn't never gonna hit the shit out of a wrestler or a person. That was never gonna happen. So I don't understand this fucking sword, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This cartoon prop. I don't understand the purpose of this cartoon prop. I just don't. And the more and more Drew walk around with it, the more and more his character becomes a laughing stock. But that's just my 2 cents. The main event of the fucking show, Smackdown, comes and goes. Now, the reason I'm cool with that is because I don't sit down in front of Smackdown preparing for like a long ass show. I can smoke once before Smackdown and not smoke the rest of the show until it's over because it's a 2-hour show. You know what I'm saying? For pay-per-views, I'm expecting to go through 2 blunts. And I'm cool with that. You just got to understand what your expectations is going into. You got to properly, everything is easy when you properly prepare. You dig? But the main event, contract signing. They had a whole bunch of these punching bags in the ring disguised as guards. It's crazy when they do that. But Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, Paul Heyman, came out to sign a contract against Brock Lesnar in the champion v champion unification match at WrestleMania. Excuse me once again. The funniest line in this is when Paul Heyman said, I beat Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Like, not Brock Lesnar. I beat it. And I will always he said, I still give Brock Lesnar 50% of the credit. That shit was hilarious. But Brock Lesnar came out and, he did a lot of talking and whatnot. Brock, cool dude, fun dude. Brock does not feel like a bigger problem or a bigger champion than Roman Reigns right now, or a bigger draw. Let me put it like that. Roman Reigns feels like and that just go to get credit to Roman Reigns, creative, and everybody involved with it. Roman Reigns is exactly where you always wanted him to be and where you thought he could be. Roman Reigns didn't even say much in the beginning of this, and he just felt like the biggest superstar on the fucking planet. And this is Brock fucking Lesnar standing across the ring from him. Brock Lesnar, to me, since Roman done hit this new God mode, Brock Lesnar does not feel like Roman Reigns equal. And that's crazy to say. But Brock Lesnar does not feel like Roman Reigns is equal. Roman Reigns legit at this moment feels as though he has no equal. And at WrestleMania, he is going to prove that he has no equal. I have never been this sure of I'm not even that sure of it. I'm not going to say that. But I am sure that Roman Reigns is going to win this title fight at WrestleMania. I'm almost 100% sure. Like, Roman Reigns, when he told you he was in God mode now, son, man, y'all should have listened. We should have listened. We listened and we still didn't understand. This dude is in such a different mode right now. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm just looking at him throughout this. Just his facial expressions and mannerisms. This dude feels like $1 billion. And then when he took the mic and said, you must not get it, farmer boy. This is my championship. You just don't know it yet. This is my ring. You see these two announcers? They work for me. You see these fans? They's my fans. This is my company. I said, yo, my boy just went off on one. The price just went up. My tribal chief got on top of the mountain and started giving you a sermon. He started preaching to you. And I am nothing more than just a follower of my tribal chief in his army. And I listened. And I said, you know what, tribal chief, you fucking right. This is your company. That is your title. Brock Lesnar just leasing it right now, and the lease is about to be up. And the price on it is too high for which you could pay. Brock, you're getting your ass whooped at WrestleMania, my friend. And I never thought I would see the day that somebody looked bigger than Brock Lesnar. Where Brock Lesnar didn't feel like the biggest star in a match. But Brock Lesnar don't feel like the biggest star in this match. He also feel like the underdog in this match. When the last time Brock Lesnar felt like an underdog? He didn't feel like an underdog against John Cena. Brock Lesnar felt like an underdog against our tribal chief. And like I said, that's credit to Roman Reigns and everybody involved. This dude has just transcended wrestling. And I think we seriously got to start entering conversations like, is this the GOAT? Like, because I think he already done entered Rock, Stone Cold territory. I understand people got Hulk Hogan as the GOAT. I don't look at him as a GOAT. He ain't on my Mount Rushmore. If he owe yours, that's cool. He ain't nobody's. But Roman, because I'm thinking about the greatest champions and wrestlers I done ever watched. Matter of fact, the greatest champions that actually made me feel like, yo, I am watching possibly the greatest of all time. I ain't had that feeling in a long time. Like, I haven't. AJ Styles is probably the last champion that made me feel like I'm watching the fucking greatest to do it. I don't feel like that when I'm watching Seth. And Seth done had a lot of great stories, a lot of great characters. I don't know if it's a character like Charlotte. Obviously, when I look at Charlotte, I'm thinking I'm watching the greatest all time. But when I'm watching Roman, I'm thinking I might be watching the greatest, like, period. That's why I want to see him face The Rock. When Paul Heyman said that this match between Roman and Brock was going to be bigger than Andre Hogan, but then he was like, it's going to be bigger than Stone Cold and The Rock. Roman, they pitched in on Roman. The camera zoomed in on Roman's face, and he just making one of them expressions, slapping the air like I slapped them too. And he would. He slapped the Brahma Bull too. He slapped Stone Cold Steve Austin too. Just like he slapped Hulk Hogan and he slapped Andre the Giant, R.I.P. Andre the Giant. But he slapped him too if he were alive today. Because Roman Reigns is the greatest fucking champion of all fucking time. And Brock Lesnar is going to see that at WrestleMania in either 5 or 4 fucking weeks, however long it is. I think it's 5. Michael Cole said 5, so I'm gonna rock with him on it. Excuse me. Other big news we got during this though. Vince McMahon's gonna be on the Pat McAfee show next week. That's gonna be fucking fire. I can't wait to see that. I like that. Yeah, I'm with that. But hey, with that, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Wrasslin with your boy Saint. Wrasslin with Saint, man. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Could have been any of us. Talking fast, can't even get my words out. Could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate you for that. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Have a dope fucking day. You tell somebody else to have a dope day, then they tell somebody else to have a dope day, and then that'll lead to infinite more dope days being had. I appreciate you. Saying out.
How the fuck I pay a couple card notes and ain't even whipping? How the fuck I'm putting food on the table while I ain't living? Cursed from being alone with these dreams of a happy home. So when I think it's really love, I give them anything they want. I got stupid shit I did as a kid defining me lately. When I try to open up a new chapter, they still hate me. My mental my only drug, so I'm doing this shit alone. Last time I fought depression and she got me on my zone. One bad move from thuggery, hit record from luxury. Pop said some shit that stuck with me. All it take is a mustard seed. Yesterday I copped $40 of pot those. Homie in